First of all, thanks so much for inviting me. It's really an honor to be here at Cityscape Global in Riyadh. Well, according to the most advanced studies in environmental neuroscience, the human brain retains an evolutionary memory of connection with nature, rooted in the limbic system and encoded over 200,000 years of Homo sapiens existence. 90% of this time, humans lived in forests, wetlands, savannas, desert, and coastlines. It's only in the last 5,000 years that we have become sedentary and we have built settlement only the last 200 years. We have transformed these cities into large mineral agglomeration, expelling and confining nature to parks, plazas, and public gardens. That's why we have seriously to consider today how to bring back nature. Just to sum up, we have 7 main ways. One is to create parks and gardens. One is to transform city roofs into lawns and urban barriers into green facade. One is to transform urban voice and courtyard in green oasis. One is to create community gardens, to create a kind of bottom-up practice to make city greener. One is to develop green corridors that can connect the green oases in our cities and in our territory. One is for sure to build green buildings. And last but not least, to imagine how to create orbital forest around our city. Well, in a certain way, these 7 points are part of our mission, and the building that we have built in Milano was at the same time an experiment and a prototype of this attempt. I think it's so important to do a real experience in that. It's about water management. It's about the best system of irrigation. It's about the cohabitation of living species. It's about the way to reduce the consumption of energy. And this is what we are doing now with our firm in different parts of the world, where we are declining the concept of the vertical forest in relation with any specific climate condition. And for that reason, the selection of plants that we do in every specific peculiar place is related to the climate condition, and the architecture that we built are in a certain way the result of all this. Well, just to show you some declination of the concept of vertical forest, this is, for instance, a different typology of building. This is a courtyard building in Milano, where the green facade are all around, a kind of external facade, and just to change the size, but the same concept of a green core. This is in Monte Carlo, Munich, where we have built, just finished to build a villa on the new peninsula, Terra Mare, where we have created a green core, and around it, it's a villa with 4 different floors. More or less the same concept is in this new district in Milano. Again, the idea of green core with a variety of housing typologies all around, and with the same concept of make the city greener, cooler, shaded, and in a certain way more sustainable. I think there is another topic which is so important, which is about accessibility. And this is a building we had built in Eindhoven 5 years ago, and it's a social housing vertical forest. This is for us an extremely important step forward, because it's a demonstration that what we have done in Milano, in different parts of the world, in China, in South America, it's possible to make affordable for everybody. This is a building for rent. And the same typology of building is also related to this. We are in Utrecht, the Netherlands, and this is a mixed-use building with a commercial basement, then office, then a public space, then different residential parts going up, and you see here also the vision from the interiors. But More than that, there is another topic which is part of our attention, which is about healthcare. For instance, in China, where we are many projects that we are developing, this is a Hangguang, where we built a building that is so important in cleaning the air from the urban pollution. So they have scientific studies that demonstrate that there is a certain number of, of oxygen produced by this building. Or going back to the idea of healthcare, this is a rehabilitation center we are going to finish in February, next February in Shenzhen, is one of the biggest in China, where the system of terraces is open to the life of the patient of different age and different origin. And this will accelerate the, in terms of therapy, the capacity of kidney of became safe. And this is another project related with healthcare in Milano, where we have built this 7,000 square meter large green roof on the top of this public hospital. At the same time, well, we experienced how to realize and to multiply the number of vertical forests. This is just an example. We have calculated that if we could multiply for 2025 the number of 300 meters tall vertical forest in Manhattan, well, we could double the number of trees present in Central Park. And that's a project we are starting to develop, just to give you an idea of how this could be done in a different part of the world. Or again, here we are in Bratislava, where we have won a competition to realize a new district with a concept of a green core, with a concept of a mixed-use district neighbors that combine the capacity of this part of the city to become greener, to become cooler, and so on. And again, this is another ongoing project in construction in Tirana, in Albania, where after the earthquake, we have proposed and designed totally in relation with the government, this new part of the city where healthcare is so important. But I think that the challenge we have today is also to see how we can make this possible in the arid climate. And this is a free, not high, but a vertical forest we're building with our local partner, Shaima Shalash in Cairo, or again, something that we are designing for the Emirates. And this is something that we presented at Sharm el-Sheikh COP some years ago. But just to go back a little bit to what we are saying, at the beginning, I think that we all have to work seriously at different scale. And in Mexico, in southern Mexico, for instance, we have really we are developing an entire new city. It's a university city where the system of water canal with desalinized water makes them, it's really the matrix of the entire settlement, and it helps to make the city greener and cooler. I think that the kingdom could play a major role in all this. This is the idea from Richard Waller. Richard Waller was a fantastic ecologist and geographer, and he proposed the idea of a world park. How a world park? The world park is made by the connection of the most important hotspot of biodiversity and the UNESCO sites. And he was designing and proposing to United Nations 3 main biological corridors, green corridors that are crossing the entire planet. Well, if we observe this map, we can see how the kingdom could play and has started to play, thank you to Saudi Vision 2030, thank you to Saudi Green Initiative, a major role in creating 3 main green corridors in its own territory, but also a major role in connecting 2 of the 3 huge planetary green corridors that the World Park is now considering. And from that point of view, I think we should go back, as you have done. We should learn from you. what you have done also in the past, making this territory uninhabitable and making this territory green. And I think this is so important for all of us to understand this. And this is not only for the large territory that relate to different city, but also is connected with city. This is a competition on research and design we won some years ago on making greener part of Riyadh. And what for us was extremely interesting is a multidisciplinary team working on that, was how combining solar energy surfaces and let's say other kind of irrigation system, we could really imagine to introduce vegetation across facade, walls, roofs, and canopy structure in a city as Riyadh. And that was, in a certain way, an amazing challenges. And I say this for a very simple reason. What we can do in Riyadh altogether, thanks to Saudi Green Initiative, thanks to Saudi Vision 2030, will be important for the rest of the world. You see here some ideas about how to build a new green, sustainable, cool city in a desert environment. Well, I think that what we have studied, what we are studying about how to make this green city in a very arid environment, it's not only for Saudi, it's not only for the MENA region, because global warming is there. Global warming is changing the life of our species in the planet, and I think we have to consider with extreme attention that what we are doing now here will be helpful will be extremely important for doing the same in Southern Europe, in North America, in the northern part of South America, in Asia, and so on. So I think that from that point of view, this project could become a reference, a major reference for all of us. I think that thanks to these strategies and projects that are already reshaping the country, thanks to Saudi Green Initiative, thanks to Saudi Vision 2030, well, the challenge of confronting ahead of the rest of the world with courage, creativity, and vision, the great issues of our times becomes not only possible, but concrete and within reach. Thank you so much for your attention.